Hello, collective. My name is Maxine Simone. I'm here to share a timeless message from the void. And while I say this is timeless, it may hold up for whenever you're hearing this, the overall theme of the message, but I just felt called to record and I guess provide some reassurance, maybe something to remind you of what's truly important, and hopefully help you to remain grounded in such turbulent times. I personally just went down a whole rabbit hole about most things. I wouldn't say I avoid them. I just don't give a lot of my time and energy into staying up to date with what's going on in the world. Like, not the world, but I just try not to consume too much of that type of content when it comes to politics, when it comes to the dark shit that is being exposed. And it's not to, again, avoid or dissociate, but in more of a trying to protect my energy. And tonight I just found myself going down the rabbit hole of a lot of things related to the Epstein files, the confessions, or not even confessions, it's the remembering of all of the heinous acts that took place with Sasha Riley and all of those children, Trump and all of those things. And it's just really disheartening. You can feel the heaviness, and my heart goes out to so many people that have experienced those things, and all of the lives lost, and just the traumas endured, the havoc that has been, wrecked on people's bodies and their souls, the fragmentation that takes place. And it's not to harp on that, but for those that are witnessing this, I feel like it was important to encourage you to not dissociate from what's being revealed, to have the courage to face it in the amounts and the doses that you can, to stay aware and to not hide from the truth, while also honoring your need for the safety that your body requires and your nervous system requires in order to properly function. And there's already so much fear and propaganda being spread, and not to say that rabbit hole that I've gone down is propaganda at all. I'm just saying in general, there's so much being pumped in front of us and through us, even subconsciously, that they're already priming us and already have primed us to be de-dissociating from our bodies. And in order to continue on this journey, to be able to commit to your path, to be able to really hold on to that truth that we're only here but for a moment in this physical vessel and for a reason, to have a human experience, but to remember that we're both, or first human, we're spirit having a human experience, and it can be really easy to forget that, and to also be so dissociated from our bodies that we don't feel safe even being here. Depending on where you're at in your journey to ascending consciousness, we could really be experiencing this hell on earth, and it makes it really difficult to want to be here. I've personally felt that myself, where you just don't even want to participate. You want, like, you fantasize about not being here, or a different life than the one that you are living currently. And that's very dangerous. And it doesn't allow you to ascend, because you're not grounded and present enough to connect with the sensations, the emotions, the experience. After all, we have this human vessel in order to do that, in order to have the experience. And it is a difficult polarity to hold, to understand that to ascend past this dual nature of good versus evil, and understanding that there are just polarities, and witnessing that is ultimately the witnessing of the polarity that exists within ourselves. And I feel like while it is disheartening sometimes, there's also this very true reality that is being revealed to us that has always existed, that far too many of us have dissociated from for way too long. And it's not that it's never been there, it's just something that we weren't willing to look at, that we claim that was hidden from us. And some things, yes, could have been hidden, but there have been many signs. The transits that we've experienced have catalyzed us into this revelation, into this revolution, this period in time of revolution, through revelation. And I feel like it's important to not allow yourself to go back to sleep. A theme that keeps coming up is that once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. And I feel like, again, whenever you're hearing this, it's timeless, so the messages in here could be relevant for you. But I feel like that's just something to remind yourself of. When a certain truth is revealed, no matter how heinous, how dark, how twisted, it invites you to move differently in order to create something different, right? This happens on a macro level, and it also happens on a micro level. The movement on a macro level may take much longer, but by you taking the action on a micro level, it does move the needle, whether you realize it or not. And I think it's important to remind yourself, and I think it's important that it's coming through, that Spirit wanted me to create this recording to remind you that every micro action that you take is helping to rework and rewire the macro conscious mind and subconscious mind. And we can experience this on this micro level. And again, you may not feel like you're making an impact. You may not see the reverberation that you have, but it does exist. Just as when you are tuning into this collective consciousness and you're tuning into what is happening out there, and it has such an effect on you, even though it may feel so far away, the reverse is true as well. You're making an impact. I feel like I'm tripping over my words because there's a lot trying to come through, and I'm trying not to censor myself either. And part of me does want to say the right thing, but then there really is no right thing. There is only the thing that you feel called to do. It's important that you do what you feel called to do. There is no right thing. There is no right or wrong. There is no, not to say that, like, discounting the things that we're witnessing as not being wrong, but I'm saying if you feel like you have this pressure on you to make this huge change, or to heal the whole collective, or to make the whole world better, there is no particular right action that is going to do that thing. Relieve yourself of the pressure, even though it's important that you witness it and you even do your part in moving that emotion through your body. When you feel overwhelmed, cry. When you feel enraged, process that, because you're moving those emotions on behalf of the collective. And when it comes to your individual healing work, as messy as it may look, it's important that you do those things for yourself. The grounding, the soul retrieval, the journaling. It can be as small or as big as you feel called for it to be. Just know that it is making an impact. And I think that a lot of the work that is being done on the ground level in these micro moments. And not to discount every day that you show up and you choose to be better, you choose to do something different, or you choose to take that next step to be in alignment, you are helping move the needle forward. I did pull some oracle cards, and the first that came out was Cancer, I feel. And then air element, communicating, and then 12th house, escape in the reverse. And I feel like this could be just an example of the micro and the macro, because I feel like I'm reading for the collective, but this feels like a very pointed message to myself, the individual delivering the message. Like just allowing myself to communicate how I feel. I didn't come on here with any cards pulled like I normally do. I didn't really pull a channeled song. I think I did start playing music, but I don't really remember what I was playing to even recall a channeled song. But it's just that it's also bringing me to Jupiter and Cancer, where I believe Jupiter is stationed right now. There's an expansion of that divine feminine within us. There's also this emphasis on women and children. There's also this, when I say like expansion of the divine feminine, this means connecting with all the range of emotions, the rage, the heartache, the despair, the happiness, the gratitude, the inspiration, all of it. And being able to communicate that clearly as you are. It feels like this emotional world on a collective level and on an individual level is expanding, it's magnifying, and it's something that can't be ignored. It also feels like people are finally giving voice to how they truly feel about things. I feel like another thing that is coming through that I'm seeing a lot on social media is people saying we're not enraged enough, we're not angry enough. Like, even though listening to those tapes, they're very disturbing. Like, I feel like I couldn't even listen, I tried to, and I was listening to even people recount the tapes. Like, they took notes and they were recounting them, and then they would have clips of the tapes, and it would just make my whole body hurt, and I would just feel like chills, pain, and then sometimes it'll just bring tears to my eyes because I can't even imagine. But even connecting with it, it's important that we witness it and we connect with it. And that's what people were saying on social. Like, even though it's very disturbing, it's important that we see it because we're not angry enough. And connecting to that rage is important. I've always equated anger and rage as an indicator that a boundary, but so many, especially with rage, so many boundaries have been crossed. It's an indicator that there is something wrong. Integrating that shadow within ourselves and within the collective is important, because without it, we would continue to let these heinous acts happen. We have to have a boundary. We have to understand the moral line and understand where our values lie. What do we stand for? That's where that anger and that rage comes in this healthy way. And it catalyzes us into action. And with the 12th house escape in the reverse is telling me that we're breaking some kind of like spiritual cycle. It feels like a spell. And this very much feels like all the things that I'm learning about is not only are they dark and heinous in the physical, but on the spiritual, like I said, it leads to fragmentation. It leads to siphoning of innocence. It leads to leaving people hollowed out, suicidal, murder. Like, these are dark, twisted things. Doing things to innocent animals, things that cannot fight back, children. We should be enraged. It gives me Kali Ma energy, where she is fiercely protective of women and children, the creators of life. And it just feels like we're tapping into that darkness of her, where she's also a destroyer of that keeps one stuck in a certain paradigm. And that is the energy that it feels like we're tapping into. I also feel like if you are called to be a healer, if you are called to hold space, if you're called to work in the realms unseen, to highly encourage you to answer that call. I see the Ace of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Cups. There's the invitation for you to show up to this collective space that is experiencing a drought, a misunderstanding of the spiritual realm, a misunderstanding of how this is affecting us on a spiritual level, but also to pour into the collective, and also to make sure that you're pouring into yourself and giving yourself what you need as you're processing all of these things. But it also feels like a very big call to show up for the collective and offer your services in however you feel called to do that. Like, this isn't the time to hold yourself back or to play small in any particular way. And the call is coming from the Divine Mother. I see the Queen of Pentacles and the Five of Cups in reverse with the clarifying air element communicating. Queen of Pentacles is that mother, that nurturer, the Mother Earth on a large scale. And it feels like Mother Earth is communicating and helping to transmute this energy, or you can also do the same. Connect with the earth, connect with the elements here that are available to us, and ask for assistance in that, and even grounding yourself to be able to do the work. This is also bringing me back to the message that I started with making sure that you're connected to your body and making sure that you are here and present. That's a big part of actually being able to move as a unit, to revolutionize, is to be connected and be present here in this physical experience. And with the Five of Cups in reverse, is telling me, your body is a transmuter, but also the earth is a transmuter as a reflection of the earth. The earth and the body work together in that way. This also feels like with the 12th house escape in the reverse. So you have the 10 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune clarified with the Hermit. And on the bottom of the deck, I see the 9 of Cups. I feel like, again, as a healer, you may feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. Or like you're trying to turn the wheel by yourself, or that the micro moments don't matter, but they very much do matter. They're the things that help you to escape a particular loop, is by choosing to move differently, by being present in every single moment. With Virgo here, the Hermit, I was going to say, it represents Virgo, which are those micro moments. It's the day-to-day. It's the habits. It's it also feels like the study. You've been observing the world for a very long time. And I feel like the call is coming for you to come outside of the cave and not just hold the weight of the world on your shoulders through observation. And it feels like even through that deep empathic, just you're processing a lot on your own by even just observing and feeling through all of these things. It feels like the call is coming to release yourself of the burden of the weight of the world by participating and allowing your community to hold you, and know that you're not the only one turning the wheel. You have to come out of the cave, but also continue to make those micro decisions, or at least those individual life decisions in your day-to-day that help to move the needle in the right direction. That's what it feels like, at least. This also feels like you stepping into service with the Six of Pentacles. How can you give? What can you, what is of equal exchange? And truly being fair. This feels like barter. This feels like charging a fair price. It's not about becoming rich, but knowing that you're going to be taken care of as you take care of your community. I feel like it's also not about talking too much with the Page of Wands and the Eight of Wands in reverse. It's about, again, the small actions, taking one small step. It also feels like coming together in community, specifically to help children. It feels like, so maybe that's some type of volunteer work that you would like to do, and or maybe you work with inner children, if you're some type of healer, or something like that. We have the Death card and the Lovers, and I just feel like there's a transformation of specifically community, because I feel like the Lovers here represents Gemini energy, and it's not so much about, well, it's experiencing love in a different way. It's experiencing safety, but transforming how you view community. And also, again, children comes through with Gemini energy as well. And I see the Six of Wands, like you're going to, I feel like, rise to be some kind of community leader, or you just step into this leadership role in some way. And allowing people to recognize that you create safe spaces would be really important, especially at this time. I see 222 on the timer. Spirit is calling, yes, the Queen of Wands. Spirit is calling you out to be seen, because not everyone holds these tenets. It feels like not everyone can hold this level of responsibility, it feels like. And again, may feel like what you weigh, or the weight of the world is weighing on your shoulders. And Spirit is saying, allow that to be something that transforms you by stepping out and starting to offer your services, and allow yourself to also be held and recognized for the work that you do. And it's not really about the recognition, but with the Six of Wands here, it does allude to there being recognition. But also, I think there's an ability to take up the space that you need to. Again, just do the things that you feel aligned to do. If you feel called to healing work, it's important that you get into that right now. If you feel called to volunteer, it's important that you get into that right now. If you feel called to hold space, or just create like safe spaces for kids to be able to play, that's something important that you need to do right now. Like all of these things, even if you just feel called to create with the Queen of Wands, that's something that's important to do right now. All of it is revolutionary. I have the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Wands in reverse. I feel like, and that's that 222 that I saw earlier, you may feel like you're at odds with two things, like you need to make a decision, you're being indecisive about something, about what is more important. And with the Page of Swords, I feel like you already know what you need to do. You already feel called to do something, but it may not make sense, maybe financially, or maybe again you hold a lot of responsibility in your own personal life, so it feels irresponsible to prioritize this other thing. But when you zoom out and you look at the state of the world, there's a reason why you're feeling called to be in a particular position or to do a particular thing. And it's important to be able to zoom out, and again, to witness what's going on the macro level will call you into the position that you need to be in on a micro level, because it should move you. That's why you can't ignore, and that's why you can't dissociate, and that's why you need to connect with the emotions. It will move you into the space if you allow yourself to be moved into that space, because you're honoring what's coming up for you honestly. You're honoring the call that comes up for you. You're honoring the rage, the anger that moves you into a new position, that moves you into taking action. It's important for you to witness these things so that you can do your part. The Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. You don't understand the reverberation that takes place when you take that next intentional step towards alignment, when you're moved from that place of inspiration / devastation, because that's what it feels like, one and the same with the Tower. When you witness this, you take that micro step, the Knight of Pentacles. This is also very much tied to the rest of your journey. What you feel called to do, whether it's healing, whether it's art, whether it's film, whether it's, childcare in an actually safe place, and actually, whatever you feel called to do, it's aligned with the entirety of your path with the Knight of Pentacles. He's on the journey the longest, and he's guaranteed to make it to his destination. But you don't understand how impactful with the Tower that next step is. The Knight of Pentacles is that Virgo energy, the micro decisions. When you choose something different, you shift the energy of the collective, not just your life. Judgment in the reverse, in the King of Wands. Release judgment of what you think other people are going to think about you. When you have I heard somebody say, like in passing on a TikTok or something, I wouldn't wish a calling on your life. In the way that, like, having a calling is a heavy thing to process and have over your life in some ways, depending on how you view it, right? But it's like, when you have a calling, it's not something that you can ignore. Life will always bring it back to you. It'll always bring you back to it. It will always remove what is in the way of you actually doing what you are called to do here in this lifetime. And this is what this feels like. It's like you have to get past this judgment. You have to get past the fear of being seen. You have to get past, it feels like, and now they're bringing me back to like Queen of Wands, King and Queen of Wands, being in your power, being in your leadership, taking those risky moves, but mainly moving from a place of alignment. And also I feel like there's this, with the fire energy, respecting and honoring the inspiration as well as the devastation that you feel, because they both move you into action. So it's important that you don't ignore these feelings. King of Pentacles in reverse, and the Empress in the challenge position. Know that you are safe. Again, this brings me back to connecting with the body. You have to be present. You have to be able to feel your feelings. The Queen of Wands and the King of Wands are both, oddly enough, intuitively connected. Like not just them together, but like individually. They're intuitive archetypes. They move through, again, inspiration. They're passionate people, so they feel and they move from that feeling. With the King of Pentacles in reverse is telling me that you may be considering what this could do to you financially, or if you're investing your time in the right way, or if I feel like, may go too far off the quote unquote like plan, which may be a plan that was given to you in the first place. Like, for instance, if you live in the US and this is not what you're supposed to be doing at this time of your life, or you should be saving your money, or I should be in a different position. No, that is the fear that is pumped into you, and the capitalistic thinking with the King of Pentacles in reverse, that greed, or feeling like, you need more to feel safe. That's a false sense of security. That King of Pentacles in reverse is literally false sense of security, and it's the misunderstanding of what true safety is. True safety is to feel grounded, going back to the Queen of Pentacles, connecting with the body, connecting with your surroundings, connecting to the resources of nature that already provides for you always. And not to say that money doesn't matter or that your bills don't matter, but to connect with that feeling, that frequency of safety. And when you can embody that, we have the Empress here in the challenge position, you will always be provided for, because you move from faith that you are a secure person. You are your body, your vessel, your nervous system is secure, and you will always be provided for. And also tap it in with your magic, because King and Queen of Wands are also very magnetic and magical beings. And so is the Empress. And so I feel like so much is coming through, or has come through in this message. But also the Empress is reminding me of, again, the Divine Mother. Everything can be provided for you, through you. You just need to stay in alignment. And the times that we live in now, and maybe every lifetime, I don't know, maybe every lifetime there's something revolutionary or crazy going on, but it just feels like very pointed. This feels like a very specific, special, drastic, chaotic time in the timelines. And you're here right now for a reason. And so it's important that you do what you feel called. As I say that, we have the Four of Swords and Justice in reverse. I feel like you feel called to be a healer. You feel called to create safe spaces, to also, it feels like balance that darkness that we are experiencing, to create those safe spaces so that people can connect with that heartache that they're trying to process, that to bring people back online so that they're not dissociating from their reality. It feels like you feel called to create some kind of safe haven, whether that's for children, creatives, artists. People can't create, people can't think clearly or receive the inspiration that they truly are meant to receive when their bodies are so out of whack. I just feel like with the Six of Swords and the World in reverse, you help people to transition into another realm without dissociating from the body. With the World in reverse, they don't actually have to run. They don't have to hide. They don't have to hide from the ugly truths that are being exposed. They can smoothly transition the mind and the soul as one into a higher vibration and use the body as a tool to get there. You provide the space in order for people to connect their soul, their mind, and their body, so that people can stop running. We have the Fool, the Hangman, and the Magician in reverse. This is a lot about giving people a new lease on life. So the work that you're here to do is quite big. With the Hangman and the Magician in reverse, that is that dissociation. That is the victim story. You help people to connect with their power. And it's through the healing work that you feel called to do, but you have to be willing to take those risky actions, quote unquote risky. You're a revolutionary in your own right. I see 3, 4, 5 on the timer, so taking steps. And again, the Magician in reverse is telling me about, they're bringing me back to when I said it feels like a spell, something that has been happening for such a long time. The implications of the experiences that we're having on a collective level have spiritual implications. Like the things that are happening have spiritual implications. You have the eyes to see those implications. And it feels like with the 2 of Swords in reverse, I'm picturing someone like prying somebody's eyes open, but within a safe environment, not like exposing them to something they can't handle or see. Because the Knight of Wands in reverse, they're bringing you to that saying that once you see it, you can't unsee it. With the Knight of Wands in reverse, there is no going back. There is no, so it's important, like you're holding space for people to actually come to terms with what is happening and also ascend. There is no going back. When we see the Sun and the Strength card, that double Leo energy, that double, once you see it, you're going to have to be strong. Once you see it, you're going to have courage. Once you see it, you're going to have strength. Once you see it, it's your job to protect your inner child. Once you see it, actually, while we're in the process of going through this, I'm going to help you retrieve your inner child. I see Leo on the bottom of the deck, 2 of the oracle cards that I pulled. Once you see it, it's important that you become sovereign. Once you see it, it's important that you become a leader in your own life. Once you see it, that ego layer is going to be burned. And yes, it's going to be painful, but you have a safe space to feel through that. Once you see it, you'll forever be changed. And again, this reminds me of the Kali Ma energy. You're an embodiment of that for the collective. The Hierophant in reverse, you break the mold. You are very unconventional. You go against the patriarchal systems that have kept people oppressed. 3 of Pentacles in reverse. It just feels like, you maybe, again, the weight of the world type of thing. You may be doing something on your own. You may feel like you don't have the support, maybe even of your family or your friends, because I did see the 3 of Cups in reverse when I was shuffling. I see the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the 10 of Cups in reverse. Like you may not have had a lot of people believe in you or invest in you, or people thought you were crazy, or that, they didn't know what you were trying to do. But the truth will be revealed. It's not for you to try to prove yourself to anybody. I do see the 9 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. This has been a journey. This is a calling on your life. The 5 of Wands. And it's not just those that were close to you that you had to fight. It feels like 7 of Swords in reverse. Like it's been exposed what has been holding you back. Whether that was people that you tried to collaborate with, that you tried to get on the same page. I feel like you're just kind of putting all of that down. You're not worried about proving yourself to your family, or this is your permission slip to not do that anymore. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about the people that you try to get on board. Don't worry about, you're here to serve those that are ready to see. You're here to serve and hold space for those that do not want to refuse the call. 4 of Cups is telling me that you yourself may have been refusing the call by trying to prove what you know to be true, your gifts, or you're trying to show it to the wrong people, and you're ignoring the larger calling of your life, which is to help the collective. 7 of Pentacles. You're waiting. Yeah, for the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, waiting specifically. This feels like around family. Wanting them to see, wanting them to get on board, wanting them, like you didn't want to leave them behind. And there may have been so much time and energy really focused on trying to get them on board. Maybe so much so that you were even not paying attention too much to again, it feels like taking you away from the larger collective issue, which again would enrage you, would inspire you also to step into the healing work. But it feels like you were, it feels like small fries, battling small fries or something. Like you're trying to like win on this micro level with them, not even realizing that the micro level healing that you were doing on yourself was preparing you to help the collective in a bigger way. And maybe you looked at your family as macro, or that was your assignment, but it feels so much bigger than that. It is kind of disheartening though. Yeah, Page of Cups in reverse. Kind of feels disheartening though. Or maybe that was a part of your own illusion of thinking that, you could bring them along with you. But yeah, 3 of Swords, this is something that I feel, 2 of Cups in reverse, this is something that I feel like you're still processing, or that may still be holding you back as you want their approval or understanding, This one wants to come out, but the King of Swords, again, you know the truth. You know the truth. And also that kind of reminds me of Archangel Michael right now. It's like something being cut off, or the King of Swords and the 7 of Cups in reverse is telling me like you already know the truth. You've been known the truth, and you can't hold yourself back from the calling on your life. Also going back to the Archangel Michael, it's kind of telling me that like the cords are being cut from those that, even though you may love them and you may want them to be able to see the truth, to be liberated, to be sovereign, to heal themselves, to, give them all of the tools, like there are ties being severed between you and those that have held you back from stepping into your bigger calling. The 4 of Wands in reverse, I can't even make it up. There's like so much emphasis. And the Ace of Wands in reverse, trying to prove yourself to your family specifically, or people that you held close to you, has held you back from stepping into your true role, from taking the wand and running with it. As I say that, I have the Ace of Swords. That's the truth. 3 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. It is heartbreaking. But how long are you going to allow that? Again, when you like go back to the beginning of the message, go back to the beginning. Maybe your homework is to actually sit with all of the surfacing atrocities. I mean, there's no shortage of them to go through. And really like activate yourself into that devastation / inspiration. It will make you zoom out so fast, like you won't even give a fuck. I'm telling you. 6 of Cups in the challenge position is telling me that it's the inner child that wants to be accepted. It's the inner child healing that doesn't want to leave someone behind, because you don't want to be left behind. But I feel like as a healer, as somebody that's showing up here with that healing elixir, again, the work that you do on a micro level, meaning your individual life, has reverberation, especially to those that are connected to you on a DNA and like a familial level, ancestral level, like through timelines. And so you're not leaving anyone behind. And it's very important that you reassure your inner child that you're not leaving them behind by not allowing yourself to express what is truly trying to work through you, which I feel like is this healing work, which I feel like is this creative work that is going to not only be fulfilling for your life, but fulfilling for this, it feels like prophecy that you are connected to within the collective. The King of Cups. The King of Cups is kind of giving me a feeling of like shamanic work, holding a lot of space, emotional space. I see the Star. I see the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Cups in Queen of Cups in reverse, Five of Swords. I feel like in the physical, you are going to show up either, again, very creative or holding a lot of space emotionally for others, with the masculine here showing up as upright, and the Star. It's like you're going to be seen as somebody that can hold a lot of space or process a lot of trauma, not be shaken by a lot of different emotions that may rise. It's like you have this stoicism. Is that how you say it? You're kind of stoic in a way, but not because you're disconnected from the emotions, but because you've witnessed a lot within your own being, that you can also hold space and witness a lot for others. With the Queen of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Five of Swords, it feels like, do you show yourself the same compassion and understanding for yourself as you do for others? It's important that you do both internally as well. And that may be the part that is trying to come online, is by allowing, again, you're able to do this for other people because you sit with and you process and you transmute and you alchemize those emotions that you're witnessing as you're looking at the truths of the world, and you're also looking at the truths of your own life, maybe even feeling misunderstood or disconnected from your own family because of their unwillingness to do that work. That's something that you're still processing and moving through. Maybe that's something that you may also help other people to move through. Maybe they feel very lonely on their journey. Maybe they feel very disconnected from their family. Maybe they feel this survivor's guilt of being able to see and accept certain truths and not being able to bring those that they care about with them in this next trajectory. Yeah, Nine of Wands, you are the wounded healer. The Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords in reverse. It's important that you process this heartbreak. Temperance on the bottom of the deck in reverse, that you alchemize this. And it will allow you to step into the role that you're meant to embody. So I feel like this was a long message. Oh my gosh, 47 minutes. I hope that this helps you. I felt really called to hop on here. This also is a way that I personally transmute energy. I feel like is like, coming on here and speaking my truth. And like I said, those oracle cards kind of felt like, wow, I'm speaking to the collective. I'm speaking to myself. And so I want to thank you for also holding space for me as you share your time and your energy with me and listen to these messages. And if you're wanting a personal reading or you want to dive deeper, all you have to do is become a subscriber to the Void Substack, and you'll be considered to be on the wait list for personal readings and personal healing services. If you want to dive deeper, you can become a member of the Void. Either way, I appreciate you so much. I love you so much, and thank you for being here with me. I hope that you have a beautiful, blessed day.